going to talk about the Eurasian Economic Union. For this first, I will put you in context of how it was created. Starting with the fact that after the Cold War and the disintegration of Soviet Union on December 8, 1991, Russia and the Central Asian republics made economic reforms, and the Commonwealth of Independent States was created by the presidents of the former Soviet republics. In 1994, Kazakhstan's President Nursultan suggested the idea of creating Moscow State University in order to grow the economies of Europe and East Asia. The idea was welcomed as a contributor to the European Union. Also, it was dissolved in 2019 and replaced by the Eurasian Economic Union (EAEU) in 2014.
The Eurasian Economic Union, EAEU, is a Russia-led regional union of several post-Soviet states established in January 2015. With members Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Russia, the EAEU is aimed at creating a shared economic space with a single customs union and integrating these states into a new cohesive economic entity. The union comprises a framework for integration that includes the creation of a common market without internal barriers. This entails the removal of non-tariff barriers and establishing common markets in energy, industry, and agriculture, as well as the harmonization of various domestic policies. The EAEU is a project steered by Russia to engage with post-Soviet countries. While members had good reasons to join the union, thus allowing it to expand, the union arguably benefits Russia the most, fulfilling an implicit role as the Eurasian alternative to the EU, a framework for imposing on neighbor states a geopolitical choice between close ties with the West or Russia. Each member had its own reason to join the EAEU. For Belarus, it was better access to the Russian market. Belarus depends on imports from Russia. In particular, it relies on Russia's oil and gas. For Armenia, security and economic imperatives were the determining factor. Russia provided economic enticements such as reduced energy prices, and Armenia needed security guarantees in its long-standing conflict with Azerbaijan. In fact, after a brief meeting with Vladimir Putin in September 2013, Armenia's then President Serge Sarkisyan unexpectedly announced Armenia's intention to join the Russian-led customs union, which then turned into the EAEU. This was surprising given that Armenia had been in negotiations with the EU to sign the association agreement for years and had completed negotiations weeks prior to the U-turn. However, Armenia was able to carve out a new accord with the EU, the Comprehensive and Enhanced Partnership Agreement. For Kyrgyzstan, it was its trade relationships with Russia and Kazakhstan. The country depends heavily on remittances from migrant labor in Russia, and thus having the labor market and receiving financial assistance were key factors. Kazakhstan, the second strongest economy in the Union, and desiring more free trade and economic cooperation, sees the EAEU as a way to contain Russia within a rules-based organization. The fact that the EAEU is not a more overtly political project is due mostly to Kazakhstan, which has been keen on limiting the Union to economic issues. The real economic benefits of the EAEU come primarily from removing non-tariff barriers, which hinges on the modernization of member states' domestic institutions. While member states enjoy a large degree of bargaining power and flexibility, Russia's economic might easily countervails their respective interests when its broader objectives are at stake. Despite its multiple shortcomings, the EAEU should not be underestimated. The Union is a significant tool for Russia to project its power regionally and globally. Thus, the Eurasian project is likely to move forward with ups and downs and continue to be promoted as a Eurasian alternative to the EU.
The members of the Eurasian Economic Community are the Republic of Belarus, the Republic of Kazakhstan, the Kyrgyz Republic, the Russian Federation, and the Republic of Tajikistan. The Eurasian Economic Community was established for effective promotion of the creation by the customs union member states of single economic space and for coordinating their approaches while integrating into the world economy and the international trade system. Among the principal tasks of the community are the first one is completing the formalization of a free trade regime in all respects, creating a unified customs tariff and a unified system of non-tariff regulation measures, also laying down the common rules for a trade in goods and services and their access to internal markets. Another one is ensuring the free movement of capital, introducing a unified procedure for foreign exchange controls, also creating a common unified system of customs regulation and harmonization of economies for the transition to a future single currency, and drawing up and implementing joint programs of economic and social development, and creating equal conditions for production and entrepreneurial activities. Other of the principal tasks of the community are forming a common market for transportation services and a unified transport system, forming a common energy market, creating equal conditions for access by foreign investment to the sites market, also giving the citizens of the community states equal rights in receiving education and medical assistance through to its territory, converging and harmonizing national legislation, and last, ensuring the coordination of the legal system of the Eurasian Economic Community states with a view to creating a common legal space within the community.
Some of the Eurasian Economic Community programs are shown on the screen, but I will share with you the two main ones. First, Almaty-Biskek Economic Corridor. This is the new development by the Central Asian Regional Economic Program, meaning the creation of an integrated economic space for cross-border integration of the main cities of the region. The economic catchment Almaty-Biskek corridor encompasses, in addition to these two cities, the respective rural catchment areas and economically linked urban centers, including Afghanistan, Azerbaijan, China, Mongolia, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. The second one, Ashgabat Agreement International Transport Corridor. The International Road Transport Organization has been working hard to reopen the ancient Silk Road, the 1,500 kilometers long route connecting Asia and Europe. This route will connect any company to major international markets and bring us closer to achieving the development goals of the millennium. The Millennium Development Goals of the Organization of United Nations on the Russian continent.
Well, the Eurasian Economic Commission is composed of two bodies. In number one, its council. The council is composed of the deputy prime ministers of the member states, oversees the process of integration into the Union, and is responsible for the overall management of the Eurasian Commission. It supervises the Commission through its approval of the draft budgets of the Union, as well as the definition of the maximum number of staff and requirements of the qualifications of the Commission employees. The Council meets once every quarter. It also deals with the issues of customs cooperation, trade, and development of Eurasian integration. In number two, we have Board of Directors. The Board of Directors consists of a set of commissioners, one of whom is its chairman. Each member state has three commissioners on the Board of Directors of the Eurasian Commission, who carry out operational management and oversee the day-to-day work of the Eurasian Commission. All commissioners are appointed by Eurasian Supreme Council for a renewable term of 4 years. The Board of Directors is the executive body of the Commission. It meets at least once a week and is responsible for the day-to-day management, submitting annual reports, and preparing and presenting recommendations. Now, The Economic Eurasian Commission has a number of bodies, such as number one, Eurasian Development Bank. Its mission is to facilitate the development of market economics, economic growth, and the expansion of the trade and commerce in its member states through investment. It has six member states: Armenia, Belarus, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan. In addition to the two aforementioned, the bank's objectives also include financing projects that support Eurasian integration. Number two, its Eurasian Parliament. The creation of the Eurasian Parliament was considered whose function is to facilitate integration between the parliaments of the member states and to work for the harmonization of national laws and legal codes of the member states. In number three, we have Court of Justice. The Court of the Eurasian Economic Union replaced the Court of the Eurasian Economic Community. It's in charge of settling disputes and interpreting the legal order of the Eurasian Economic Union. The official seat is in Minsk, Belarus, into the second annex to the Treaty on the Eurasian Economic Union. The court is composed of two judges from each member state, appointed by the Eurasian Supreme Council. Their terms of office are 9 years.
Well, now I'm going to talk about the commercial relationship between the Eurasian Economic Community and Mexico and some curious facts. Well, the main exported products in the Eurasian Economic Community were fertilizers with 37.9%, ingots and other primacy forms of oil or steel with 19.3%, petroleum oils and oil obtained from bituminous minerals with 20.5%. And in the other hand, we have Latin America exports to the Eurasian Economic Community. The main exported products were cattle meat with 18.9%, fruit and nuts except oilseed nuts with 16.8%, oilseed and oleaginous fruits of a kind for the extraction of fixed vegetable oil with 14, which leave Mexico with an approximate import shares of 24.5% and export shares of 5.8%. Well, and finally, we go to the curious facts. And as we can see, the observed countries are Armenia, Moldova, and Ukraine. The decision-taking system in the Eurasian Economic Community are taken exclusively by concession, by participants that have equal voting power. Um, Also, Uzbekistan was a member till 2008, and the Eurasian Economic Community religion produces about 3.5% of the world gross domestic products, and it has a huge resource of minerals and raw materials, and it owns more than 20% of the world gas and 50% of the world oil. And as we can see in this little chart, Russia uh, is the one that have the biggest population and the biggest GDP. The first advantage is that our membership in the Eurasian Union will bring to our citizens abroad is that they would not need a work permit. And the second advantage is that there would be more integration and cooperation between companies in the mining industry and the energy sectors.